What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the steering wheel buttons and the instrument cluster in the 2022 Ford Explorer. It's a pretty straightforward process. Let's go for it. Next up, taking a peek at the steering wheel for the vehicle. So this is going to be a full walk around on all of these different buttons as well as that cluster screen. So let's go for it. Starting off with the stick on the left-hand side. So our left turn stick is exactly for that. So we can turn, we can flash our high beams on, etc. There is a button on the very tip of the stick there. As you can see there, it makes this part of the screen change because what's happening is our lane keeping system is turning on or off. So our lane keeping system, what that's going to do is if we start to veer over into a lane without signaling, it'll either give us a little bit of a steering wheel shake or it'll gently nudge us back into our lane. So that's very different from the lane centering system, which we'll get to in just a second, but we can easily turn the system on or off. It's turned on there, but it doesn't actually activate until we hit about 60 kilometers an hour. Those are going to go green, letting us know that the system is active. The stick on the right-hand side, we can control our windshield wipers, and we can control our rear wiper as well. There's a little button on the very tip of that stick in order to turn our rear window wiper on or off as well. But looking at all of the different buttons and things like that, so let's start off on the left-hand side. So this first pad here, this specific one has the Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus package, which means that we've got the adaptive cruise control, factory navigation, and a few other things. But looking at some of the basics, so this very first one is our distance indicator. So if we turn the system on, it's how far or how close are we away from the vehicle that's in front of us. So you can see lanes kind of disappearing and showing up there as they go. So that's our distance indicator. So are we far or close away from the vehicle that's in front of us with the adaptive cruise? And that's kind of one of the nice things because we can literally set it to our own personal preference. And then if somebody in front of us slows down, our vehicle will automatically slow down to whatever our set speed is. We can either increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time. We can turn the adaptive cruise control system on or off there as well. And then we've also got a lane centering button. So as you can see there, we had a little centering button show up in the middle of the screen. What this thing is going to do is literally keep our car balanced in the lane. So unlike the lane keeping system on the stick there, so we can turn that system on or off, the lane centering takes that to the next level. So it's literally more or less self-driving. So it's going to kind of keep us balanced in our lane as we go, which I think is a great safety feature. Moving down, we can either increase or decrease the volume there, and we can also mute out if we want to. Looking at the right-hand pad, so a ton of other options there. Very bottom, we can change between songs or radio stations, answer or hang up on a phone call as well. And then we've also got a voice command prompt. So we can press that in order to be able to change songs, radio stations, and things like that. So as we press the button, taking a peek at the sync media screen. So as you can see there, we have a few different options that are available. And we can easily cancel this thing out. If we were connected through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, this button would also work in order to activate our Siri or Google Assistant as well. Next up are going to be a series of different buttons that we can use in order to navigate through the cluster screen. So we can literally go up and down by moving this up and down as well. We can push in the middle in order to be able to reset certain values. So second there in order to reset. Or if we ever get a message on the screen there, so something like that, we can press this button in the middle in order to be able to cancel out any messages that might be on the screen. So the one where we go up and down, we push that in as our OK button. This is our generic back button, and this is an additional menu button. So let's kind of go screen by screen here. So we've got our fuel economy, our trip 1, tire pressure, we've got what station's currently playing, and then back to our fuel economy again. We press the menu button there. We can select what screens show up on that main screen. So we can do a calming screen. We've got additional trip counters. We've got our intelligent all-wheel drive. We can turn on our off-road status, seat belts, and a number of other things. So if we go back for a minute, we go back again into our main screen. So as you see, we added a few things in. So we've got a calming screen that essentially is just going to be the base screen without any sort of added stuff and fluff and things like that. So even if we turn that lane keeping system off, look at how more basic that looks. So you can kind of customize the overall look and feel of it. But moving down, we've got our trip counters again. We've got our intelligent all-wheel drive, our pitch and roll status, so we can literally see the positioning of the vehicle. And we've got what seatbelts are currently on. So as we have drivers and passengers and things like that in the vehicle, it literally is going to highlight green, letting us know whenever somebody's put their seatbelt on. And then we've got what station's currently playing again. So we literally can customize what screens are showing up there. You've got a little bit of flexibility. Moving back, we've got our audio. So we can change between AM, FM, Sirius XM. If our phone was connected, that would show up as an available option. If we had a USB stick with MP3s, that would show up as an available option as well. Moving back, we've got our navigation settings there as well. So we've got my home, previous destinations, point of interest icons, and a number of other things. So if we just jump into point of interest, let's look at food for a second. And so we have quite a few different things that are available. And you know what? Let's go for some ice cream right now. So we're just going to go.
Obey traffic laws, be alert, and use voice commands while driving. In 100 meters, make a U-turn.
Okay, so as you can see there, it does let us know what's going on the screen itself. And then over on the sync screen, so if we hit navigation, so we do have our navigation that's currently going. And as you can see, we've got our current route that's in there as well. So it is nice that we can literally do that on the fly as we go. We can control it using our voice there also. But if we hit the menu button, we go navigation again, we can cancel the route out very simply by pressing cancel. And that just cancels out the active route that we've just set up. Moving down, we've got our phone. So as of right now, our phone is not connected, but if it was, we could literally look at our contacts. We can look at previous phone calls and things like that in order to make phone calls that way. Moving down, we've got some added settings. So our oil life, so we're currently at 100%. And then we've got a counter letting us know when we should probably change our oil out again. We've got some display setup options as well. So we can also show, looking along the bottom, so either kilometers or miles per hour. And then back down again, we are again on our main screen. So not a ton of different options and flexibilities and things like that, but it is still nice to know that we've at least got the option to customize this thing a little bit if we wanted to. And that's going to be the basics of the steering wheel and the cluster screen inside of the Explorer. Well, folks, that was a look at the steering wheel and cluster inside of the 22 Explorer XLT. What did you think? Pretty straightforward. I love the fact that this one's got the adaptive cruise control system as well. But if you ran into any problems, you have any questions, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. More than willing to talk you through any problems that you might be having. But if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your social networks, think about subscribing, and until I see you next time, take care.